I swear, Grandma Iris is a saint of God. This woman deserves her flowers for holding this shit down. You go, girl. Damn. She's kinda hot. Stop. I'll stop.
Be sure to like this video and subscribe to stay tuned and show support for the channel.
Our story opens up in the 1960s with a gorgeous blonde, I'll stop, named Iris, who is being driven in a car blindfolded by her boyfriend Paul to go to the grand opening of a new restaurant called the Skyline. They arrive, make it to the top of the tall ass building being held up by like a fucking toothpick, and manage to sneak in after a homie's best buddy who worked in the restaurant got fired and failed to secure Paul's reservation. Damn, way to let him down. We later learned that Iris is expecting a child, and after a lot of foreshadowing elements, go away! Please and thank you. Paul proposes to Iris, and she says yes. Yeah, you go, girl. Get that. Oh, I'll stop. And Paul learns he's gonna be a daddy and not a baby daddy, if you know what I mean. Everybody is celebrating and dancing to the Isley Brothers song Shout. AKA, just in case you didn't know, you make me want to shout, da 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 da. That's all. And then you see the wildest death sequence I've ever laid my eyes on. Paul falls to his death. Half the building is gone and everybody is on fire, including this black kid's mom, who was a singer that briefly befriended Iris, but fortunately her child is still alive. Iris manages to rescue him, but they collapse and are only being held up by Iris's wedding ring, held between two steel bars. Mind you, Iris is holding the boy in her hands, and because gravity is coming down at 90 degrees, her finger slips out of the ring and they plummet to their death, but it was only a dream. Stephanie's dream. I'm just a girl. Let me stop. Stephanie has been having this crazy ass dream for 2 months straight for every night, and she is on the verge of losing her scholarship and dropping out of college. As she wakes up one night in order to not further annoy her roommate, she decides to go home to look into this dream and the woman named Iris that we learn later is her grandmother. At home, her dad knows very little about anything relating to Iris. Shocks the fuck out of me. The mom, aka Iris's daughter, is absent in their life, and her younger brother is a skater boy getting ready to go over to their cousin's house, which Stephanie drives him to in order to learn more about Iris. Skater boy. That, yeah, exactly. At the cousin's house owned by Stephanie's uncle, aka Iris's son, Stephanie's brother is chilling with two of the uncle's sons and his daughter, and the uncle doesn't want to talk about his crazy ass bitch of a mom because in his mind, she's a crazy ass bitch. But the aunt, aka the uncle's wife, caves into Stephanie's plea and secretly lets Stephanie know where the letters are from Iris so she can check them out, which leads Stephanie on a journey to Iris's home, which is a giant fortress out of some kind of wasteland shit. Now, Stephanie meets Iris for the first time and she is some old woman living in a fortress dying of cancer. You thought I was gonna say a shoe? Fuck no. And reveals to Stephanie that her dream was Iris's premonition. Oh my God, that's too funny. And she is some old woman living in a fortress dying of cancer. You thought I was gonna say shoe? Fuck that, no bitch. And reveals to Stephanie that her dream was Iris's premonition, and that after Paul proposed, she managed to save everybody's life until death came after them. Or should I say, death came after them. Now, this shit has never happened before in all of Final Destination, that the main character dreams a premonition of someone else's premonition. I smell scam, a Nigerian scam. Grandma Iris takes out the Bible, and by that I mean a book that she has been updating for years on how to identify death's pattern and survive, and wants to teach it to Stephanie. But she would have to stay here in this maximum security zone, and she does not want to do that because she got a life to live, ironically. Stephanie walks out, and as Grandma Iris walks after her, she senses death in motion. Okay, stop that! Please and thank you. And makes a sacrificial play and gives Iris her book after walking outside, where she then tells Stephanie to take a step back and then she will believe. Where Iris is then killed. You should have seen this scene. There was blood everywhere. Stephanie is covered in blood, screams, and one of Iris's last words stays with her, that after Iris dies, Deff is going to come for her family to finish what he had started years ago. It's just because the survivors were never meant to have children. After Iris's funeral, where Stephanie's absent mom shows up after years of being away, God knows where she was. I mean, she wasn't getting milk. You technically make the milk right here. I'll stop. Stephanie still has the book Iris gave her on her mind. The uncle days later holds a barbecue for the family, and Stephanie's mom shows up and Deff is doing his thing in the background. Stop. Will you stop? What the fuck? While this is happening, Stephanie is starting to see the pattern of death as glass breaks, which causes her to go to her uncle's house. Stephanie arrives and witnesses Deff's plan in motion, as her uncle steps on a shard of glass, falls back, and his skull gets eaten alive by a lawnmower. Damn. That's why I hire people to do my landscaping shit. After her uncle's funeral, Stephanie gathers the family to try and make sense of these deaths that happened after Iris. And she pulls out a graph and flowchart from the book and reveals that after Iris saved everyone from the skyline, that the survivors started to die. Them and their children over the years, and it was like Iris being alive managed to set Deff's plan back for decades. This is how you know that this chick's thinking went to college. She pulls out a flowchart. She must be a math major, damn. This is where I realized something in the theater into theory. Iris's book had drawings of key events from the past Final Destination movies, like an airplane and a truck carrying logs. This made me wonder if all the survivors, or at least the ones who gained premonitions, were descendants of the survivors of the skyline, and that each movie was Deff trying to clean up his failure from the skyline death scene. If this is true, then Grandma Iris deserves high praise and a shrine for her sacrifice on some Selena shit. 'Cause I'm dreaming of you tonight, 'cause tomorrow I don't know if it's right. These are not the words to the song that I'm trying to sing. Thinking about you and me. Hey, Stephanie determined that the next to die was her uncle's eldest son, Eric, and he calls bullshit, rightfully so. I wouldn't believe this shit, but almost dies one night at his tattoo parlor job, which caught Iris and her brother's attention the next morning. They drive there and almost hit Eric and wonders how he's still alive. But when Eric's sister comes out to go for a walk, all the things Stephanie pointed out that Deff could use to kill Eric was used on Eric's sister, and she dies the most realistic death I've ever seen in any movie. Damn, this is like the third fucking funeral. Stephanie thinks she got the order wrong, but the craziest knowledge drop occurred when her aunt broke down and admitted to having an affair. So Eric isn't blood, and the younger brother is next on the list. Upon looking through Iris's book, they find the name of the person who managed to conquer death, named JB. Can you stop? Please and thank you. And the group, minus the aunt, go to the hospital to find JB, and it's the black dude from the first film, William John Bloodworth. It is revealed that he was the young black boy from the skyline. He tells the group that the only way to defeat death is to either take a life, which would have added what would have been their remaining lifespan to your own, or to die and somehow be brought back to life. With Iris gone, JB's one step closer to being on Deff's hit list. Gangsta. Damn, son. But sadly, due to Eric's meddling to try and kill and bring back his younger brother, who had a peanut allergy, Eric and his half-brother dies in the most gruesome way, involving magnetism from one of the hospital's machines, after they separated from Stephanie and the others who were speaking with JB. With all hope lost, and their mom next to die, Stephanie and the others agreed to go to Iris's Fortress of Solitude, where they will be safe. Or will they? They drive the mom's RV to the fortress, and Deff is at work. This just sounds fucking funny. The mom has an RV. Damn, she's living in trailer parks. Do you want to take the mic for a second? Dude, let me cook. I'm on a fucking roll here, dude. Chill. Please and thank you. and they crash the RV through the steel gates, causing the belt buckle to jam with Stephanie in the driver's seat. The mom and brother head to the house at Stephanie's suggestion, but the house explodes due to a gas leak from a stove and a spark from one of the lights up on the roof. This is like some type of creative MacGyver bullshit. If you don't know who MacGyver is, just Google it. I ain't telling you shit. You got phones in the thumb, use it. The mom lifts the debris off her son, but dies by being crushed by a fallen pole. The RV is sinking and flooding next to a nearby body of water, and the brother manages to pull Stephanie out, who had drowned, who later comes to while coughing up water. Coughing up water, water. Okay. A few days later, Stephanie is taking her brother to pick up his prom date in the same neighborhood Iris and Paul drove through to get to the skyline, and already I'm suspicious. One of the adults heard of Stephanie being brought back to life from drowning by her brother, but he said that you can only be brought back to life once your heart stops beating. Stephanie and her brother then knew that Deff was not done, and a giant-ass train crashes through the houses and onto the street, causing Stephanie and her brother to run for their lives, where eventually their lives get ended due to logs crushing them from the cargo area. Alright, now you can speak, sir. God damn. I'm trying to do a fucking video, trying to do the review. I'm trying to hype you up, son. Damn, go ahead, do your shit.
This death was caused by a penny that the old woman from the hospital scene picked up from the street that fell out of Stephanie's mother's purse. This penny fell and rolled out of the old woman's purse, who was in the neighborhood getting ready to buy lemonade from a bunch of kids, which got lodged into the train track crevices, which caused the train to derail and kill Stephanie and her brother. It was the same penny Iris had for decades, which was the same penny I intended on using to destroy the skyline that a bad kid picked up from out the wishing well water fountain in front of the skyline. Watch the movie closely and you'll see what I mean.
Penny for your thoughts? Damn, dark as fuck.